Welcome to another 31 Days of Horror 2017 video with Asylum. Yes, see here? What does that say? It says, from the director of Final Destination 2. So you know it's good, right? Or is it? Let's find out. So, this is a 2008 film directed by David R. Ellis, who, as you already know from that, did Final Destination 2. He also did Snakes on a Plane. Mostly known for his stunts, but that's neither here nor there. The film is written by Ethan Lawrence, who he's been on a bunch of stuff. He wrote TV movie called Truth or Dare, A Town Called Eureka, not a bunch of stuff, but Murder in a Small Town X is stuff, but not a huge career. But hey, he wrote Asylum. And what is Asylum? Well, essentially it's a college student film. Not dumb. Well, no. Let me see. Let me reword that. It's not a college student film. It's a film about college students. So 6 college students discover that their dorm was once an insane asylum. Go figure. Yes, and apparently this asylum once conducted gruesome lobotomies on teenagers. Yes. So essentially half of this asylum has been renovated and turned into the dorm, and the other half of the asylum is out of bounds and hasn't even been touched and is run down and looks exactly like the asylum. This is the one thing I don't get. One side is perfectly done, and the other side, it's the same building. It's one half of the building, and the other half of the building looks like nobody's touched it. I don't know about you, but I've never known of any company that would have done that. I mean, it just seemed weird. But anyways, it makes the story work, right? So, of course, they decide to go explore the asylum. Not the dorm section, but the rundown, old, thing, which has essentially a locked, digitally locked door. Of course, there's a security guy and a, what would you call him? What do you call those guys? The guys who overlook the kids. Oh my god, I can't even remember. I'm drawing a brain fart. It's late. Give me a break. Often a much older student, a grad student or somebody, who, I don't know. Either way, there's a security guy and this other older student, grad student who is supposed to oversee the dorm, I guess, who have these bit roles in the film, but they're not huge roles. They do make their appearances. They do give their speeches. They do make their appearances. And often it's trying to keep them out of this asylum. Where once they've got in there, hey, guess what? The ghost of the doctor who was doing the mad, crazy experiments is... Bum, bum, bum. He's coming to get him. Yep, there you go. Like you didn't see that one coming. Alright, so we've got 6 students. We got Madison, played by Sarah Romer. You'd probably definitely recognize her. She was in Fired Up. She was also in Disturbia. I think one of her big ones was The Event television series, where she played Layla Buchanan. But yeah, she's been a bunch of stuff. Not a but I say a bunch, not a huge, like massive. I mean, she's young in this film, and yeah, she doesn't really. I mean, when you're younger, you have a generally much smaller repertoire. Not a repertoire. Less experience. We'll just. Oy, oy, my head is just. Okay. Next up in the role of Holt is Jake Muxworthy. Jake is, I think he plays the pretty boy love interest. Essentially, Sarah Romer is the main, your final girl, I guess you'd say, who has history of mental problems, I guess you'd say. But yeah, Jake Muxworthy has been in Waterborne, which I do think I have to do in a 31 Days of Horror at some point. Borderland, Cradle to the Grave. He had a small role in that, though so you wouldn't know him. I Heart Huckabees. There's a good movie that he was in. Of course, then Asylum. Again, not a huge bunch of films, but enough to be experienced. Next up would be Tommy, played by Travis Van Winkle. Van Winkle. Wait, no. Wait. Tommy. Maybe Tommy was the love interest. I can't remember. One guy was the pretty boy, sort of like a bodybuilder type thing. The other one was kind of like the artistic. I can't remember which one was which. But yeah, if you've seen or watched any of the Last Ship, he's Lieutenant Danny Green. He was in Heart of Dixie, Squad 85. I mean, even had a role in one episode of Malcolm in the Middle, believe it or not. He was in the Transformers movie, the first Bay movie. He was Trent DeMarco. He was also in Meet the Spartans, and then after Asylum, he went and did Friday the 13th. He was the Trent guy named Trent, if you remember that from the Friday the 13th remake. The next student up is Ivy. Ivy, played by Ellen Hallman. Ellen Hallman is, again, same boat as the other ones. Done work, but not huge, I guess. She's been in episodes like Numbers and Rules of Engagement. I think her biggest role that you might know her from would be from Spartacus, if you watch that series. Great series, by the way. She's Saxa, plays the role of Saxa. But outside of that, just things here and there. Nothing crazy that you would know her from. But again, well established as a working actor. Finally, we've got the last of the girls, Maya, played by Carolina Garcia. She was in Coach Carter, Supercross, and not a heck of a lot. I believe Asylum was the last film she ever did. Maybe she got killed on set. No. And then we've got String, played by Cody Cash. Yeah, he's been in a few things, yes. Trying to think. Not too much that you know him from, unfortunately. The only thing I can think of is if you've watched Desperate Housewives, Zach Young. He was that character. Outside of that, he had done diddly squat. Now, you may be wondering, but what about the doctor? What about the doctor who's doing all the killing? Who played the doctor? Well, that doctor is played by Mark Rolston. Mark Rolston, yes. You may know Mark Rolston because he was in Shawshank Redemption. He was in The Departed. He was in Rush Hour. He was Private Drake in Aliens. Yes. Take that to the bank. Private Drake from Aliens ended up in Asylum as the Doctor. Oh, boy. Oh, well. What are you going to do? He's also been in Saw movies and such, but, yeah. What are you going to do? In terms of the film itself, well shot. I mean, they had a decent budget. It is kind of a standard haunting thing. You just kind of going like... Honestly, the second that they decided to break into the asylum on the other side, I was just like, you know what? I'm okay with these students dying. Even though I probably would have done the same. One of the things I found, when we went exploring in university, we had this thing where you would always liberate stuff. Pair of, galoshes, or a welding mask, or just something that somebody who works around, or construction worker or something has left by mistake, and it's just there, and it's like, yeah, maybe the next day they'll find it, maybe not. Either way, kind of left it. And they go to the other side of the asylum, and there's like tons of stuff over there, tons of like things and stuff to prod people with, and all sorts of crazy torture type stuff, right? Because that's the kind of asylum this was. And I'm just thinking, damn, we would have liberated the shiza out of that place. Oh, yeah. So I didn't mind the film so much. Unfortunately, I think this is one of those ones where Leslie would have enjoyed this film, but yeah, she kind of went to bed, and so I put this on, thinking it was not what it was going to be. I didn't know it was going to be a ghost story, and so yeah, she missed out on a ghost movie. Whatever, it happens. I thought it was going to be a mental breakdown, one of those things, and they usually end up being really bad. But yeah, what are you gonna do? It happens. Hey. Would I give a recommend? Sure, Asylum. It's not terrible. It's not terrible, but it's not fantastic either. It's got a good running time at 1.5 hours. Short, sweet, gets to the point. There's some gore, a little bit of scare, not a heck of a lot. The acting for a good portion of it is good. Some of them come off as a little bit too over the top with their characters, a little caricature-ish, if you will. But there are some good dialogue moments, things like that. It's just, they do come across as college students for the most part, and everything seems to make sense in that regard. The Doctor, Doctor was good. I kind of like the idea of the Doctor from the asylum coming back. It's kind of obvious. I mean, it's predictable, but at the same time, I like a good killer Doctor. They often, especially ones who are crazy and like to torture their patients, they make for the best type of doctors to come back and do some killing. Yeah, I would have liked more gore. I would have liked more killy, more stuff going on. I don't know. I mean, there is, like I said, there is some blood involved in the film. There is gore involved in the film. I just think for a doctor who was doing all this torturing stuff, that they could have taken it to the the nth degree. Like, I don't know what the rating on this. I think it's rated 18A or something. Let's see if it's on the disc. Rated R. This is apparently rated R. Yeah. So it probably was 18A in Canada. And that's the thing. Like, if it's a rated R film, I expect more. I expect more. I want to get my money's worth out of that R rating, right? But yeah, it's all right. It is what it is. Like I said, you can check it out. It's solid. You can't really fault it for anything. Trying to think. Was there anybody who kind of popped into this that was... There might have been. Just trying to think if there was a character or something like that who was in the film who's be like, you know, did a cameo or something like that and would make it like really worthwhile to jump on it. But I don't think there was. No, it doesn't look like it. You never know. You never know. Anything's possible. I just might be missing it. That's essentially it, right? Yeah, if I was to give it a rating, if I was gonna have to give this one a rating, I'd say probably a 2.5 out of 5. Yeah, 2.5 out of 5. It is. Okay. It's not a bad watch. You could do a hell of a lot worse, but you could do a hell of a lot better. Had it been scary, had it had some gore, or actually if it had anything to really sell the film, then it would be better. As it is, it's just kind of an okay story that's predictable. Been there, done that. With you know, good acting, looked good, was, you know, clean and such. But yeah, there you go. Asylum. Let me know down below if you've seen the film. I'd love to hear from you. Yeah, more 31 Days of Horror to come. Let's check them out now.